Jackpot!
This new Devil May Cry show was pretty good. I think I'll tweet about it. Wow, someone replied already. I really hope they were trying to spell trigger. God, this show was so corny.
The way this usually goes is I do that, then drop a killer one-liner. But I'm drawing a complete blank right now. This never happens to me, I swear.
Hey, it's Ty. So, I just watched the new Devil May Cry show on Netflix, and I thought it was good. With an asterisk. There are a few problems that I have with the show, but I'll get to that in a second. By the way, this is coming from an almost blind perspective on the video game series, so before anyone comes clamoring to me about the mischaracterization in the show, please take a step back and think about this if you were in my shoes. Okay, created and written by Alex Larson and Adish. Holy crap! Where did this intense migraine come from? It almost feels like the looming presence of someone's terrible past coming back to haunt me. I'm sure it was nothing. The world is coming too close to meeting the gates of hell. All thanks to the clutches of one man dressed in bourgeoisie clothing and a rabbit head, known only as the White Rabbit. It's believed that he is close to releasing hell's fury onto the earth and destroying humanity in its wake, leaving only demonkind to rule with an iron fist. The people that are going to stop that from happening are none other than Dante, voiced by Johnny Young Bosch, a super skilled superhuman gun for hire, and Mary, voiced by Scout Taylor-Compton, a gifted soldier from late childhood who works with a secret government agency known as Darkcom for handling threats such as this. Of course, we get a few other choice characters throughout that offer something to the overall story, but these two are the main characters. Or really, I should say, Mary is the main character, because Dante gets his ass handed to him on a silver platter more than I'd like to believe. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The voice acting in this show is pretty good. Everyone does a great job at honing in on that cheesy tone that this show clearly gravitates towards at times. But it isn't afraid to give certain characters time to be serious and grasp the situation they're in. One of my favorite surprises was the late great Kevin Conroy voicing the Vice President.
Refugees from hell did not immediately strike you as contradictory.
Officer Bowles.
But the main tone is silly and unserious for most of the series. What? The animation is nice when they aren't using CG, and the 2D animation is really something special. I feel like the over-the-top nature that the show lends itself to is only heightened by the action and animation that carries it. It's fast, violent, and in your face with how showy it can be at times. Finally, I think the music is nice, and I've definitely heard these songs and the soundtracks of some of the games, despite having never played them. I just wish the whole show was like that, as far as the songs it chose, because it tends to switch between licensed songs and new renditions of tracks from the games. Now for the bad. Oh, what's that smell? Oh, wait. I found it. Like I said before, the CG is the worst part of the show when it comes to the animation, and I think that's due to it trying to take on two mediums that don't have a good history of mixing well if not done right. It's ugly, choppy at times, and for bigger fights that entail demonkind, it's usually the majority of animation being used. It can work for certain fights, but most of the time I felt like I was watching two 3D figures slamming into each other with little to no weight behind their punches. My second complaint is one that has been echoed in various forms throughout social media, and that is the power scaling of certain characters. Oh, that's the alarm. You know what that means.
Ice cream!
No! It's a spoiler warning, so if you don't want spoilers, skip to this timestamp. Many characters suffer from this fault in the writing, but the main one is Dante. I refuse to believe that despite his clear lack of thinking and strategizing with a fight, he continues to almost always lose against Mary, who is clearly shown to be nothing but human. We learn not even halfway through the show that Dante not only has a healing factor, but is half demon, meaning he gets enhanced speed and strength from his dad's side, yet somehow Mary and a couple other antagonists always have the upper hand. Spoilers over. Speaking of Mary, here comes my third complaint, and it comes in a few different forms. Firstly is the story. Dante is sidelined for a sizable portion of the story, despite the fact that the plot revolves around him and his origins. Whether he's knocked out or on the other side of the country, we almost always kick it back to Mary, who has some quirks about her that I personally didn't gel with. The main ones being the excessive swearing and stubbornness that felt almost too cartoony. But when they're not doing that, we generally just get more screen time for her than the main character. And it isn't inherently a bad thing. I like Mary, despite my complaints. I think she has more depth than Dante, for the moment. And we see more of her origins explained in later episodes as well, to help really understand why she's fighting the good fight. But it's like an episode of SpongeBob centered around a random side character. You may enjoy what the side character's doing, but you can't help but feel like the show should be focusing on someone else. That being said, she is integral to the plot, so it's not that big a deal. But I do feel that Dante-sized hole in my heart at times whenever demons show up and he's not there. Despite all of this, I still thought the overall package was enjoyable for someone like myself who has little to no knowledge on the game. But even if that wasn't the case, I still think I'd like it.